The year is 2007. Gamers rejoice in a bevy of world-class titles like Uncharted, BioShock, Mass Effect, Portal, Super Mario Galaxy, Crysis, Team Fortress 2, and of course many more. Call of Duty launched alongside these great games and would be the ground zero for the most innovative, slick, and fun gameplay in the first-person shooting market. It would go on to obliterate the competition and was single-handedly responsible for taking Medal of Honor out of business.
Holy shit, this is actually awesome. Hey! Oh my god!
But fast forward to the present, and goddamn has the Call of Duty formula gotten pretty old. The truth is, expectations have destroyed much of Call of Duty's allure. Nearly 2 decades later, and you pretty much know exactly what each game is going to be, even before it's released. Explosions, corridors, kicking doors down.
What the hell is with this game and blowing up doors?
More corridors, turrets, and you guessed it, more f***ing turrets. Everything is fine when you first play Call of Duty. In fact, it's pretty goddamn fun. It's the fact that Activision has run Call of Duty into the f***ing ground that's the problem. Remember the first time you played Death from Above in COD 4? It wasn't very good, but it was at least interesting because it was something new. Remember storming the beach on D-Day? It was awesome.
Danny, why don't you just...
Oh god!
Hey, get down!
Holy shit! Oh my god!
Doing it all over again 2 years ago though, not so exciting anymore. The issue isn't just that the stuff isn't new anymore, but COD also suffers from this little problem called consistency. Some CODs have awesome missions, incredible set pieces, and occasionally nail-biting stealth scenarios and shootouts. Other titles though absolutely suck. And truth be told, none of them are consistently good from start to finish. There's always some shit stuck in the middle somewhere. Buying COD today is essentially playing the lottery. You're not sure if you're gonna get a good one, a bad one, or some mixture of both. Take for instance Vendetta from World at War. The scene opens up like a horror movie. The player wakes up surrounded by dead and dying Russians. A German soldier surveys the grounds, executing a survivor with a point-blank shot from his rifle. Smoke billows from the background as planes fly casually overhead and somber music lingers in the background. Another German comes into the scene and kills more wounded Russians, barely missing the player as he pretends to be dead. This is an amazing scene. Eventually the player has to crawl to safety, take out the Germans, sneak through the city while almost getting burned alive, and finally jump into the river to safety.
I need you alive!
Sadly, each COD game only has 1 or 2 of these standout missions. The rest either aren't up to snuff, recycle ideas from past games too much, or devolve into scripted shooting galleries. One only has to compare Suffer With Me, awesome, to the Strike Force missions, trash, and Black Ops 2 to see this issue play out. Look at any COD game and you'll find the great sitting next to the downright terrible. Activision is practically a slave driver at this point, shoveling out a new title every single fucking year. So in that regard, I guess COD's lack of creativity on the whole shouldn't surprise us. Lastly, the scope of the content is another chink in the armor. Through all the years, COD has barely put a dent in the idea of making its games bigger, more open, or just more different. They've certainly tried with games like Advanced Warfare, but they've never taken it far enough. What results is always the classic corridor shootout. Call of Duty pushes these shooting gallery moments at you so much that they end up being the bottom of the barrel when looking at any of the game's various campaign content. When the game finally surprises you with something like Hunter Killer, Vorkuta, or Liberation from World War II, you realize that COD can actually do some really awesome things. Should be pretty telling that some of the best COD missions are the ones that either have some interesting context behind the shooting or play out in a way that's unexpected or unique.
They used tear gas. I couldn't breathe.
Franchise games are not played in isolation. They need to evolve, or at least for God's sakes, be given a chance to breathe, to keep the content interesting as the franchise gets older. If I may provide an example. Zelda has 9 mainline entries and innovates every single game. Enemies, characters, weapons, world, scenarios, puzzles, perspective, art design, even the mechanics, they all change throughout the series. I mean, just look at the difference. The great part is though, you still know it's Zelda. It's change, fundamentally driven by a desire to keep things fresh while at the same time expand on what the titles can functionally do in the process with new technology. Just look at what Mario was able to accomplish through the years. On the other hand, Call of Duty has over 16 main games and you can draw so many parallels between them, especially in multiplayer. It sucks because the games are fun. until you play 15 of them. If COD took 2 years to make every game instead of 1, they'd be able to capture the magic that so many other titles achieve in their jumps from game to game. We wouldn't get so much reused content. We wouldn't see so many ideas half-baked or copied from other titles. Wall running, jetpacks, mechs, specializations, battle royale, they're all fine and dandy ideas, but doubtfully coming from a place of genuine imagination. COD fundamentally doesn't suck, it's just trapped in its own ways and it's extremely old. It can never be new again. The only substitute for that is consistently interesting new content and ways to play the game, and a package that has way more highs than lows. At this point, the franchise seems to be struggling to find that place. Though I have heard some great things about the upcoming title.
And I found myself feeling extremely uncomfortable during the demo.
At least personally, I feel like I don't necessarily want to play 15 to 20 hours of what I was just shown.
So these journalists don't want Call of Duty to go back to what it was. They don't want it to be dark. It's too offensive. Guess I should jump on this bandwagon and send Activision a letter telling them that their game should be politically correct and not offend anybody. I mean, we wouldn't want to piss anyone off, would we? Please don't jiggle the boobies so much when you put out your next game. Please put an easy mode in this game so my son can beat it too. You fucking kidding me, right? Mom! Mom! Hey, Mom! Can I borrow your credit card? I need to buy a red dot.